بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره. I thought to talk tonight about the condition of Imam al-Mahdi أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف in the age of occultation. When we say Imam is in the state of ghaibah, what does it mean? Because in our sources, in the Quran and the Sunnah, we use the term ghaibah in different senses. And to be able to distinguish between different usages of the term ghaibah, you have to remember that sometimes ghaibah is used in contrast to shuhud, sometimes it is used in contrast to huzur, sometimes it is used in contrast to zuhur. And these are different meanings. So, inshallah, tonight, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives me tawfiq, I want to clarify the concept of ghaibah. To begin with, we need to understand that human beings go through different stages in their life. Initially, we are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a spiritual being which has body and soul. And this spiritual being in its essence is spiritual, but its functions and actions need material body. We cannot survive without our body. If you look at an embryo or a newborn baby or a child or a teenager or an adult, it makes no difference. Without body we cannot function, without body we cannot survive. Although, for example, the soul has no direction, has no location, is not bound to any physical place, but because of our dependence on our body, our knowledge, our action, all will be restricted to certain direction and certain place. So why, for example, I cannot understand what is happening at the moment in another part of the world, although my soul has no location, and for my soul here or in another part of the world would be the same. The reason is that because my soul at the moment receives its knowledge through body and through the senses which are physical. So because my body is not there and my senses have no access to what is happening there, so my soul would be deprived from this type of knowledge. Forget another part of the world. Right here, I don't know what is happening behind me. If someone is standing behind me, I don't know what is he doing. I can see what is in front of me, but I cannot see what is behind me. Why? Is it because the soul has front and behind? No, soul has no front and behind. Right, left, front, behind, top, bottom is the same for the soul. This is only for the physical bodies. But because my soul receives her knowledge through the body, so my eyes have no encounter with what is happening behind me, so I cannot know what is happening behind me. In the same way, when it comes to action, I can move around the things which are here. I can move this microphone, I can move my notebook, but I cannot move something in another part of the room, let alone in another part of the world. Why? Because at the moment my soul is only able to do something through my hands or my feet. So when there is no access to my feet or my hands, so it's impossible for me to do something. So this is the nature of the relation between soul and body when we are in this physical life. But when we die, the soul is released. The soul will no longer be bound to physical limitations. Its understanding can increase. Its abilities can also increase. I give you a few examples. When a person who has never talked in Arabic or never wrote in Arabic dies and is put in the grave, and of course the grave is the symbol for entering another world. It's not necessarily to be put in the grave. It's in the state of barzakh. We start doing talqeen in Arabic. Have you checked first that this person knew Arabic or not? You don't ask if this person was able to speak Arabic or not. Why? Because when he was alive, he could only speak his mother tongue or any language that he learned. But when you die, you can understand any language. You can understand Arabic even if you never understood Arabic throughout your life. Indeed, I personally believe that the person understands what is in the mind of the person before understanding his words. So language would not be a barrier or restriction. A person who dies would be aware of what is happening to his family. He is buried in a cemetery, maybe in another part of the town or maybe in another part of the world, but he knows what is happening to his family. And according to some hadith, for the mu'mineen, for the believers, they would only be informed about the good things that happen to their families. So if some tragic events happen to their families, Allah keeps them hidden so that He doesn't worry. And for the people who were vicious, only bad things would be disclosed to them. But anyway, they have this access to some type of knowledge that people who are alive don't have. And even they may be able to do certain actions. Not everyone, but certain people. For example, the people who are pious scholars, pious mu'mineen, after they die, they can do some extraordinary acts. You can ask them to help you with your requests. You can ask them for shafa'ah. You can ask them to heal or give something that you want. Of course, with the blessings and the leave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's all bi'idhnillah. But this person is now more capable of doing these things compared to the time that he was alive. When he was alive, he was not doing any of these things, but now that he's buried, you go to his graveyard and he's able to do all these things because the restrictions are over. So, we have a condition which is dependence of soul and body, and a condition which is freedom of the soul.
Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sallam.
We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us and forgive all the mu'mineen, our brothers and sisters in faith. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to serve Him with all the energy and all the talents that we have. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to serve Imam al-Zaman before and after he comes. May Allah make our children generation by generation always on the right path at the service of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. May Allah enlighten your heart and mind. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all marhumin, especially the maraja, the ulama, the people who have rights upon us, the parents and for parents. And may Allah heal and treat all the ill brothers and sisters. May Allah bring peace and justice and equity to this world so that no human being suffers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the last moment of our life the best moment of our life. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.